Hi, everybody. Hello, hello. Give you all a minute to come in. I started a little early, so everyone could come in, get settled before we start crafting. I hope you're all having a lovely, lovely Monday. We have a fun product bundle for you tonight, a free gift with the product bundle tonight, and I have something new to share with you that not sure if you guys have seen this yet or not. It's amazing. Say hello. Hello. Hi, Jamie. Hello, Christina. How are you? Okay. So let's talk about the new stuff. Have you guys seen the new release over at Bruce Monroe? The Mermaid Tail release. I have lots of fun goodies from that release here. We're going to play with some of them tonight. And then I just got the Shimmer Mists today. I haven't had a chance to play with them at all, but we're going to. All right. So tonight's bundle includes Harvest cardstock and Alabaster cardstock. It includes one of my favorite stamps ever, which is Sharon's Script. And then from the new Mermaid Tail release, and we're going to be using these tonight, we have the Coral Reef Stencil, sand paste. So we're going to get a little bit messy. We're going to talk a lot about this sand paste. I've used it now. I've used it a couple of times, and I have some tips and tricks and cool things to share with you with this sand paste tonight. The slideshow collection. So the slideshow stencil and then the shell piece, part of the bundle, and it's new, and we're gonna use that tonight. So before I start cutting and pasting and all that fun stuff, let me just tell you that today I received all of the shimmer pastes from the new release, and I got the new paper pad of the month. Have you guys seen the new paper pad of the month yet? It's so good. I'm sure Christopher showed it as one of his lives, but I'm going to show it to you today because I got it in the mail today. I haven't, other than to cut the sticky off so that it'll like open without destroying the paper. I haven't opened it. I haven't looked at it, nothing. So let's look at it. So it's called Watercolor Waves. This is the paper pad of the month, which means that if you go over to Bruce Monroe and subscribe, it's $10 every month, shipped, done, out the door. You get a full paper pad. It's a new paper pad every month. This month is called Watercolor Waves. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys too. So for the bundle tonight, I know I'm kind of flipping between two things. I apologize incredibly. So with the bundle tonight, if you purchase the bundle at the bundle price, you're going to get a container jar of glitter glaze in Fallen Snow for free, which is my personal favorite glitter glaze. It's amazing and awesome. We're going to use it on the card tonight, so you get to see me play with it too. But just know, if you go look in the description box below, you'll find an affiliate link that you can use to shop the bundle. And if you purchase the bundle tonight, you get the glitter glaze for free, just part of your order. Okay, so that's that. I didn't want to forget to tell you about the glitter glaze. Christina said she's 1 week away from being induced. Oh my gosh, which means Next Monday, Christina, you're going to have a sweet little baby, and I'm going to give you a shout out on my live next week because that's amazing. Okay. Jamie said she bought way too much of the new release. Yeah, didn't we all, Jamie? It's true. And Kate said exciting news and hello from Florida. Yes, so much fun. Okay, so description box below, you'll find the bundle. If you purchase the bundle, you get the glitter glaze. Now, let's talk about this paper pad because we definitely have time tonight, I think, to be able to do this. Yeah, it's only 5:05. We're good. Okay, so the paper pad of the month, the subscription. I have the subscription and it is $10 a month shipped. And I know Christopher has said these paper pads won't be released individually for 1 year. Almost positive. Someone's here and they want to correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what he said a bunch of times. So here is this month's paper pad of the month. It's called Watercolor Waves. And I'm going to flip through it. I haven't looked at any of it yet, but it looks amazing and awesome. There's Miss Natalie. Hey, 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 Miss Natalie. How are you? So look at these patterns. They're so good, you guys. This one is like a wood grain, but it's also looks like a sunset. And then the background is this, which again, like it's like wood grain, but then it's like the ocean. So cute. It's so good. And remember, you get 4 of each of these patterns. So you get plenty of the same pattern if you are a 12 by 12 scrapbooker. So this one is like a little bit of mixed media and a little bit of wood grain. It's so good. And then the backside has like this ocean and then the wood grain under here. I love these patterns. I love that they have a little bit of mixed media and then a little bit of the wood grain, but then a little bit of the ocean. They're so good. I love, love, love them. This one will be super fun to use on the front of a card. And then like down here, it almost looks like a little boardwalk. So you could mix and match with some of your other stamps and add like little critters to this little boardwalk, all kinds of stuff you can use. And then this one is just some multicolored wood grain. And then the back is again that wood grain with that oceany. So Natalie says, oh, I'm loving this paper. Yes, me too. This is the paper pad of the month at Brutus Monroe. So it's $10 completely. That includes shipping. That includes everything. It's a monthly subscription. This is this month's subscription. This will not be at retailers. So retailers don't get the paper pad of the month, and it also won't be sold individually for at least a year. So you just can only get it with the subscription, and I think $10 subscription, including shipping, that's a pretty good deal. So here's this one. And then the back is like the blue wood grain and the water and sand. It's so pretty. And this one has more of like that just watercolor look to it. And then the back is the wood grain and the aqua. Isn't this gorgeous? I'm obsessed. I think this is where we started, right? Is this when we started on? I think so, right? Yep. So there are all of the different patterns that are in June's paper pad of the month. I opened my box today and I was like, I am in love because this is absolutely gorgeous. And so far, since I've started doing these paper pads, I have loved all of the paper pads. All of them. Last month's was like it was like Starry Nights and stuff. I haven't gotten to use it yet, but it's amazing. So there is this month's paper pad of month, and I did link to the subscription down there because I wanted to be sure to show you that. And then if you want to grab a subscription, you can. So we're going to start tonight's project with some Harvest cardstock. This is included in the bundle, and I'm going to cut this right in half. So I'm just going to put this right over here to 5.5. And we're going to go ahead and cut this right in half. Okay, so after working with this sand paste this past week, here is my very first tip for sand paste. My very first tip is you need to cut your paper at exactly the size you want it to be before you apply sand paste. Because once you have applied sand paste, if you try to cut already dried sand paste, whether it be scissors, whether it be a trimmer, it will dull your blades, and it's awful. Don't do it. It's just bad. Very bad. So once sand paste is dry, do not cut through it. So you have to cut your paper first and get it exactly the size you want it before you start applying it. Hi, Karen. So I'm going to cut this paper at 4 by 5.25 because I know that that's what I want my end result to be. Then we're going to take our coral reef stencil. I'm going to go ahead and line it up on the back of my card base. Now, the coral reef stencil is 6 by 6, so it will completely fill your card front and then some. If you are someone who likes to make larger cards, like think 5 by 7, maybe square cards, this would be a really great stencil for that too. If we're going to do an A2, a little bit less than an A2 card, this is 4 by 5.25. So it's going to kind of go off of the edges, which is totally fine. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to line it up. I'm going to line up the top of the stencil with the top of the card. That's just, I like that look. So that's what we're going to go with. Sand paste is exactly that. It is sandy. It's a little bit messy. If you want to give the sand paste a try, I highly recommend making sure you have a stencil tray. I have mine right here, filled with water, ready to go. Because if you let any of the sand paste dry even a little bit on your stencil, it's there. You're going to have to, trust me, don't ask me how I know this. You have to take your finger and like scrape it off. Okay. So let me just grab a palette knife here. Any old one will work. I thought I had one out already, but apparently I did not. So you're not going to believe this. Right before I went live, if you were live 2 weeks ago, remember the thunderstorm? So right before I went live today, I got a notice on my phone that we're under another thunderstorm watch. So I'm really hoping that it holds off. We're under a thunderstorm watch till 10 o'clock tonight. I'm hoping that it just holds off until, we're done here. Hi, Margie. Okay, this stencil is very intricate. So you can kind of see here how there are these little pieces, right? So we want to put the sand paste through the stencil, and we want to do it in such a way that we are going to not, we don't want to end up catching these little pieces because these are pretty intricate. So my second word of advice with this stencil, first of all, take your time and go slow. Get a good amount of the sand paste on your palette knife. Start off the edge and come in so that you're not working against the stencil. You're working from the outside in, and these little intricate pieces, this is the way they naturally want to go, and you want to do it one way. So you want to come from the outside, come in, don't go back. Start way back here. Come in and come towards the center. And when you get to the center of that coral, stop. Because if you try to go all the way across this, you're going to catch these little edges and it won't work the way you want it to. So one direction, just to the center of the stencil. Jamie says it's storming where she is. Yeah, you know what? I'm okay with the evening thunderstorms at this point because we're getting some of the warm weather. We haven't had, I don't know, here in PA, it's been, well, especially this part of PA. I don't know that it's been everywhere in Pennsylvania, but in the western part near Pittsburgh where I live, it's been cold, like cold, cold. We had frost the end of May. So I am a-okay with the evening thunderstorms because it was lovely and like 80 today, close to 80, which I'll take it. Bring on the warm weather. And yes, I'm getting sand paste on my glass mat. I'm not going to worry too much about it. It'll come right up. That's why I have a glass mat. So the sand paste, you do need to take, you have to, it's not going to work exactly like, say, a chroma glaze or something like that. It has this grit in it. So you have to kind of take your time, go a little slower. I mean, the grit is amazing when it's all dried and stuff, but okay, that's good. The next thing I will tell you is to be very careful when you pull it up. Take your time, go very slow so that you get a nice release. There we go. Okay. So now I'm going to set this aside because I want to show you something else you can do with this. So remember at the beginning, I went ahead and I cut this harvest paper in half, right? So I'm going to take this stencil that still has a lot of the sand paste on it. I'm going to go ahead and scoop up some of this. I'm going to clean off my brush pretty good. My palette knife. Just pop it in the water there and try it. Well, Jamie, I'm sorry it's storming, but also I hope you get to keep your electricity, right? And look, I was scared to mention it, but we seem to be doing okay with the sound and such tonight. So I am taking the leftover sand paste that was on my stencil. I'm doing the same thing. And I'm just kind of scraping my palette knife, and it's getting on this paper just a real thin. It's going to create something that is very abstract and thin. It's not going to give you, exactly. But we're not wasting any of the sand paste by doing this. And so basically what I'm doing is I'm just taking the sand paste off the stencil as much as I can. And then the fun kind of abstract piece that we'll have when we're done is completely usable. And the sand paste that will be on this paper will be not as thick as on the other one that we did. So you're going to get 2 backgrounds out of that. And then as you can see, the second one won't be as perfect or as intense as the first one, but it will still be really usable and fun. I don't think Penny's with me today, so she can't say the magic words. But oh, look, Penny just got here. Yay, Penny, you came just in time. Christina says, when they say shipping is included, is that for international? I don't know, Christina. I don't actually know the answer to your question. That's a really good question. Penny might know. Penny, she's talking about the paper pad subscription. I showed this month's paper pad of the month, and I know that it's $10 out the door shipped. Is that international too, or is that just domestic? Kate said magic. Yep, that's what we're going to do, Kate. So by the magic of TV, ta-da, we have one. And so this is the one that I did with full strength. And then this is the one that I ended up with after I used the excess. Through the magic of TV, we have it. I'll show it to you up close. It looks so good. Looks exactly like coral, right? And then the only thing I did was I went over it with just around the edges with some Distress Oxide ink in Vintage Photo. Just to give it that little bit of a halo. But doesn't it look like real coral? Like, it looks like coral. It's so cool. I love it. I think it looks so neat. Okay, so that's going to be our background for our card tonight. And I'll set it over here. Now we need to make a couple of embellishments. And we're going to do that with this slideshow stencil. So the bundle tonight is going to include the base stencil, which you can then use over and over again with all of these little stencil strips. I want to say there's 4 different kinds of the stencil strips now that have been released, and I'm sure there'll be more. And then we're also going to use some of this alabaster cardstock, which is part of tonight's bundle. And then from your stash, you're just going to need some inks. So I chose some distress oxide inks in antique linen, saltwater taffy, and weathered wood. But you could, of course, do any colors you like. The reason I kind of chose that harvest color cardstock was because it would work well almost like a neutral, and then you could choose whatever ink colors you want to do your ink blending for the next part. So the way that this stencil works, there is the base piece, right? And then these little strips that fit in. So there's little slits in the base piece. And then it's basically what you can do is you just go through, you pull this through, and you don't have to switch your stencils. So you can just go ahead, you can stencil this one, then you just pull it through and you stencil the next one, and then you pull it through and you stencil the next one. And it gives you 4 stencils in one, and you don't have to like flip out your stencils. You just take your stencil and you just move it up and down, and you can get a bunch of different images. And that's what we're going to do. So I want to make 4 cards, 4 of these little seashells today. I'm going to make 1 with the weathered wood, 1 with the saltwater taffy, and I'm going to do 2 with the antique linen. So we're just going to take a little bit. We're going to You can do this as heavy-handed, as light-handed as you want. And then you can just take this and move it over. And then we're going to do a second one with the antique linen. So there's our 2 yellow ones, and then I'm just going to slide this right down. And now we have a different shell that we can ink. Give me 1 second here. I'm going to do this one with the weathered wood, but I'm going to grab one of these brushes. These are the Christopher Allen signature brushes. I love them. They're fabulous. I just don't have, I need to order more because I don't have a yellow one yet. So for yellow, I had to get one of my bigger brushes. Okay. So we're going to come in here and we're going to get this up. The reason I put my ink down on my glass mat for this color and not for the yellow is because this brush is dedicated for antique linen. So it's never been in other inks. This is just my green brush. So I don't want it to take any kind of shades from other inks and end up with those inks in my Weatherwood Distress Oxide. In case you were wondering, that's the thought process behind that. Okay. So you can just move over. And then, but antique linen is a color I use a lot in scrapbooking and in my crafting. So it has its own dedicated antique linen brush in my craft room. So we'll put that one down in there. Catching up on the comments for a second. Hi, Nikki. Okay. Penny says she does not believe that shipping for international is included, but she said go ahead and she left an email address that you can email and ask your question to. Christina. Vicky says she's sitting here sipping her homemade smoothie, frozen strawberries and bananas. Well, that's not all sounds delicious except for the bananas because I really don't like bananas. Oh, there's Heather. Heather might know the shipping question about the paper pads. Yes, Heather, I'm sort of waiting on the storm too. I think it's going to hit you before it hits me. And as long as it doesn't hit till after my live is over, then I'll be happy. Okay, let me grab my pink blending brush. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to smush the saltwater taffy onto my glass surface before I start blending. Ha! There you go. There's the answer to your question, Christina. Shipping for international isn't included. She said she's sorry. I'm sorry too. So we're just going to go ahead and... But you saw how easy that was. I just went down through. Boom, 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 boom. And I now have 4 perfectly stenciled, beautiful shells. Okay. There are our shells. So when you stencil your shells, you see you have like a white. It's a very white line. If you don't like that white, kind of white, harsher, definite stencil look to them, take your brush, kind of go like this just to get some of the ink off, and just go over your stenciled area. What that's going to do is it's going to smudge the edges just a little bit. And it's going to give the shell a softer look that is less stenciled, if that makes sense. So there is our shells. But wait, we're not done with these yet. So I'm going to take one of these. We want one plain one. And I'm going to cut apart these three. We are going to do some fussy cutting. I'm sorry. Fussy cutting is just, I think fussy cutting is going to come back in fashion soon. Now we're going to use the best tools we have in our craft room. Do you know what your best tools you have in your craft room are? There's right here. Oh, thank you so much, Nikki. Yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. So I'm going to use the best tools I have. I'm going to get into my Fallen Snow Glitter Glaze, which don't forget, you can get it for free if you purchase the bundle tonight. And I am putting a layer of glitter glaze right over these shells. Just lovely. Just right over them. Get ready with the magic, Penny. It's almost time. Okay. So once we have the glitter glaze over our shells, we're going to set them aside to dry. Through the magic of television. Ta-da! Not this one. I mean, I do have that one, but we're going to actually make that fourth one. So what I did was I let these dry. I fussy cut them. I added just a touch of some ink to the edges. And I don't know if the light's going to catch this or not so you can see the glitter, but they're glittery, very glittery. There they go. And so pretty. There we go. There's that glitter. So pretty. So, oh no. Ta-da! Thank you, Heather. That was fabulous. So we're going to take this. We're going to pop it in our little stencil tray. Let that dry. So then when they're all dry, and you can actually control how long these take to dry. If you put a lot of glitter glaze on them, they'll take longer to dry. If you use just a little bit of glitter glaze, they won't take very long to dry. You have that option. So for this one, This is the 4th shell. This is the second one we did with the antique linen. I'm going to just fussy cut this, and I will be truthful. I'm truthfully being honest with you. I'm not going to lead you astray. These shells are really easy to fussy cut, especially if you put them on either Perfect Blend or Alabaster cardstock, because I know from experience, not your mama's, while it would work, it would hurt your hand to fussy cut them because that stuff is so thick. But if you use Perfect Blend or Alabaster, the scissors just go right through it because it's a little bit thinner paper and it's easy to fussy cut. Lovely fussy cutting and quick and easy. There's not a lot of real intricate pieces on these shells. They're pretty simple shapes. So you can do it. I have faith in you. Okay. And then I'm just going to flip this. And then I just took those little shells and just added a little bit of vintage photo to the edges, just a touch. I didn't even put this in the ink pad. That's just what is on my ink blending tool, so it's not a lot. And then this is where we're gonna, this is the one we did not put glitter glaze on. So we have 3 that are glittery, and we have 1 that is plain. And the reason this one is plain is because this is the one we're going to stamp our sentiment on. So we need it to not have the glitter glaze, or we won't get a good impression. It won't stamp well. It'll be a whole situation. I'm going to show you. The Sharon's Script stamp set. So the ones that, the stamps that will fit on the shell. Hi. Just a note. Miss you. Good luck. Smile. And then you could do hi mom or hi dad if you wanted. Those would work too. I used miss you on my little example layout. So or my little example card. So that's what we'll use for this card too. I just love Sharon's Script stamp set. It is just lovely. I love all the different sizes of different sentiments, and you can stack them and you can play with them, and they're in this gorgeous, beautiful, elegant font that makes my heart happy. So I'm going to stamp this a couple of times till we get a nice, crisp, dark ink. Shut my door. I know. Shut my door, please. Thank you. Everyone says congratulations. He didn't hear me. Oh, well. Okay. Okay, so a couple of times so we have this nice, and look how lovely that fits on that shell. Like, just perfect. I love it. Okay. Set that over here. Now we can take all these different elements without smacking the video camera. And we can put our card all together. We have much better reception tonight, which makes me super happy. There doesn't appear to be gremlins this evening. I think it's because Heather's here. Don't you guys think? It's definitely. Heather scares the gremlins away. Shush. Talking to my dog, not to you. He insists he wants to be in here with me. Okay, so there's our card base. Hi, Emily. It's so good to see you. Emily said she smacks her camera all the time during lives. I don't feel bad that I'm in good company. And thank you. Shells look lovely. This is the first time I've had the slideshow stencil. So this is the first stencils I had with it. And I will say, for making embellishments, when you want a lot of embellishments and you just need that little bit, this was really nice to use. To just go boom, 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 done. I thought it's a lovely little thing. Okay. So we're going to get this gorgeous coral with the sand paste. And that's going to be the main part of our card. And then we have the shells. So I want to make it so you can see all of the shells, but not a lot of them, right? I want them to be really kind of loosely gathered together in this corner. And then I want to make sure that this one is like front and center, because this one is where we're going to put our sentiment. Now, you're going to need glue to put these down. You need to, when you're using sand paste, the heaviest glue you have is the best. Your favorite glue, lots of it. Get all along the edges, put a lot on the inside. Like you can see me with my glue press, I'm adding a lot of glue because there's a lot of like dimension and texture here, and I want to make sure that enough of the glue holds on to enough of the dimension and the texture that it stays put. And then give it a good press down. Okay. So then we're going to do it again. Lots of glue. When you're working with mixed media, glue is your friend. The more glue, the merrier. Okay. So there's our second shell, and then this one's going to be right here. And then our main shell, which will have our sentiment, will be right up front. I think this card is super easy to put together. I think the hardest, if there is a hard part, it's waiting for everything to dry. That would be like the hard part, but it's not really hard at all. It just requires patience. With regard to drying, I put the coral the sand paste with the coral and the glitter glaze, I put them both in front of an air conditioner, so it was like constant air moving across them. And the sand paste took about 2 hours. So you might just know that is going to be a little bit of dry time. You might want to have a little morning crafty time with your coffee and do all the stenciling and do all the glitter glaze and the sand paste, and then put it somewhere to dry before you go to work. And then by the time you get home from work, you should have dried pieces to play with. Emily says she hates waiting for things to dry. Me too, Emily. I hate waiting for things to dry. But I love the finished end result, right? Like, isn't that the catch 22? Like, I want instant drying, but I also want all this pretty texture and awesome fun, right? It's awful. Thank you so much. And that's going to be it. That's going to complete this card. And I don't think it needs anything else. There's so much texture and glitter and interesting things to look at. And it's beautiful. So just as a quick reminder, if you want to buy the bundle tonight, you'll get everything you need to make this and then you'll get the Fallen Snow glitter glaze for free. The 6x6 paper pad is this gorgeous watercolor waves paper pad. It's amazing. I went through it at the beginning of the video. Missed that, you can go through and see all the different patterns. If you are in the US, it is $10 shipped to your door every month, a different exclusive paper pad. And they're lovely. I agree. Emily said worth it. Correct. If you want to add more to this, Heather says the nice thing is you can continue to add things like gems and beads. Right. You can keep going. You can build up layers of different things on this if you want. You can kind of just, what do you have in your stash that is adorable, that would add more to it if more is what you want. I really like it just like this though. Thank you so much, Kate. Thank you, Heather. Okay, that will complete tonight's card project. I will see you next week with another fun card project. I hope you all have a fabulous evening. Guess what? Guess what? We got finished before the storm hit. Yay! All right, everyone. Stay safe, and I will see you again soon. Bye. Oh, thank you, Emily. I'm so glad you caught me too. It's so nice to see you tonight. Thank you, Natalie.